What is going on here?
Oh yes, we're gonna have some sauton neuf in the next village.
Oh, this movie. You, Tom Hanks.
Wake up!
Oh, is the movie over?
Thank God.
Oh, it's over. Oh, okay.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another podcast, another episode. On today's show, we're looking at Pinocchio, the remake, the Disney remake from 2022. Is Pinocchio 2022 really that bad? And I'm joined by Martin Young, as usual. He's falling asleep.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was the perfect cure for my insomnia.
Yeah, it was a sleeper hit.
Sleeper hit put me to sleep.
All jokes aside, like I actually had to fight to stay awake.
Oh my god, we're not even halfway.
Pinocchio should not be a 2-hour movie. Like, it's such a simple story. It can be done in like 70, 80 minutes. But this film just is padded with so much useless dialogue of just characters saying the same crap that we're seeing.
For example, Pinocchio gets locked in a cage, and then when that grasshopper thing played by
Jiminy Cricket!
played by what's the actor's name? I forgot.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, he just goes, "Oh, I'm locked in a cage." Well, no, Sherlock.
Yeah, but he doesn't just say, "I'm locked in a cage." He's like, "Jiminy Cricket, I'm locked in a cage. Stromboli put me in this cage, so now I'm locked in this cage." Why do you have to say all of that? Remember when Pinocchio legit just says everything that happened in the movie to Geppetto? It's like, "Geppetto, this is what happened. On the first day, I got captured at this time, at this place. It was I think it was sunny. There was a bit of cloudiness, and it was 20.
I drank some. I forgot what it's called.
It was 25 degrees. I turned into a donkey, and I went to Pleasure Island with Epstein and all those guys." And I was like, "What?
And then Tom Hanks.
You did?
You don't all that in one day?
You went there by yourself without me." That's a tired old joke, isn't it? Of
Self-referential stuff.
the joke where someone says, "I did all this," and the other person's like, "Whoa,
You did all that?
someone had a big day."
What? Nathan Drake? You did that with just one bullet? How the hell you do that with one bullet?
What about the Chris Pine thing?
Oh, wow. I think I should call you Chris Pine. No, that joke went wide. Oh, they only appear twice. Even though they're the ones that threw him into the puppet comedy troupe or whatever, the puppet show or whatever, they just don't show up again. They're out of the picture. And it's played by... what's the actor's name? I keep forgetting. The other Keegan
Michael Key. Is that
knows?
right? Not
Yeah.
Jordan Peele.
No, the other one. Yeah,
The other one.
after.
That's gonna be his
Legacy.
His legacy.
The guy
other
that's
one
not
of
Jordan
Key
Peele.
and Peele that isn't Jordan Peele. Like, Jordan Peele's directing like all these like great movies like Get Out. When you see Pinocchio walking in this movie in the real world, it reminds me of Homer Simpson in that Treehouse of Horror episode when he goes into the real world. That's how bad it looks. This film should have been completely animated. That would have fixed it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't blend in well to the background at all. There's also lots of uncanny valley moments, like the cats, the goldfish. And I think you said at one point, like, this is why they don't do close-ups on Pinocchio, because it just looks bad. It just looks
Well,
bad.
you brought up
Yeah.
that all the camera, like the framing and the shots, the cinematography in this film is so boring. It's so bland. And there was one point where there was a close-up, and I said to you, this is the only close-up in the whole movie, and it looked terrible.
The most creative moment is when the chimney sweeping Brit kid, he starts turning into a donkey, and it's that like starting to turn into a werewolf like horror trope when you just see the shadow of this disfigurement happening. But even that, the execution of that was kind of just cheap looking, I'd say. But yes, the cinematography, it's just like very standard. You just set up one or two camera, just wide master shots, and that's it. They don't go very experimental with cutting, like with cuts and close-ups, especially because with all the very theatrical performances, just the high energy of it calls for a very, sort of explosive editing. And I think they need to take a page out of, I don't know, like the Matilda on like Netflix. But here it just feels very minimal effort, I think is the way I would put it. Very minimal effort in terms of like camera
I'd say
movements
that
and editing.
about
Yeah.
the whole movie. This movie just reeks of like a minimal effort. Like a kid that, has the assignment the day before and is like, P's get the degrees, man. Just hand it in. This is meant to be a remake of a classic Disney story that has a legacy, that has history. And here it's just they're phoning it in so hard. Tom Hanks sounds like he's impersonating Jigsaw and Batman.
What about you? Leo, did you learn anything?
I actually had to put subtitles because I couldn't understand what he was saying. He was like,
Let me wish upon a star. Pinocchio, where are you?
What did Robert Zemeckis, what acting directions did he give to Tom Hanks to carry out this mumbly performance? What's going on?
yeah, that explains it all.
He wrote the screenplay. Yep.
I remember the bit when so Jiminy Cricket, the Blue Fairy, is like explaining in the very beginning.
I want to say the very beginning, but like that was already like 15 plus minutes in. But we
Yeah.
felt like we were there for 2 hours. But yeah, what was she saying?
She does her whole spiel, pretty much explaining to Pinocchio how you need to become a real boy, you need to be brave, and all that crap. And there's a part where like she starts singing, and then Jiminy Cricket's umbrella opens. Are they trying to say that his asshole has opened from how hot the Blue Fairy is or something? I just couldn't understand what they were going for.
It's just euphemism,
It
maybe.
felt like that moment when like they're trying to show that a character's got an erection, but get it through the senses and make sure that kids don't know what's going on. Like if it was Shrek.
Yeah. There's another visual euphemism or like sexual tension thing where like Pinocchio and that black French puppet, they were just like holding onto each other like this, and then they start going slowly towards each other. I was like, what's going on? Why are they doing this? And animated movies, 3D or 2D, every shot has a purpose. It's to convey something verbally or non-verbally. So the fact that they added the umbrella going thwomp like that and the slow sort of moving, it's like, where are they going with this?
That was
what
planned.
the hell?
There was some kind of vision behind that, because a movie like this would have so much effort in pre-production and storyboarding.
It also just doesn't help that the story is ass as well.
You were loving the when they went to Epstein Island. You just loved that.
Whoop-de-doo, let's go to Jeffrey Epstein's Pleasure Island, kiddos, let's go. Yeah!
Why is anything happening to anything? Nothing has anything to do with anything. And the way I described this movie is just everything is very piecemealed and thrown together, like you said, like some kid that's had to do a last-minute assignment submission. And it's just like events conspire and happen. Like, he just goes from point A to point B. There's no rhyme or reason to why anything is happening. First, he's been abducted by some Fox character played by the forgotten comedy duo.
The other guy.
The other guy. Then he's being like abused by the puppet like show person. Then he gets abducted to go to Epstein Island, but then it turns out he's being controlled by some black fog beast thingo, and he's turning everyone into donkey to be sold to salt mines. I'm struggling to remember because everything is just like one line throwaway line.
Yeah.
And then he tries to find his father Geppetto, and then he's about to reach him, but then they get swallowed up by a freaking whale, the monstro that they just mentioned like right before they go into the ocean. Then they have their grand escape. The end. There's no rhyme or reason to anything, and anything that they introduce, they just verbally make like a light mention of them right before. And doesn't it just feel cheap that we see the monster or the adversary or whatever like right after we're told about them, and the way that they say it is just like offhanded mention. There's no build up. There's
Yeah,
no
like
suspense.
Jiminy Cricket is just like, oh God, we're going in the sea. Oh, we don't encounter the monster. And then next shot, oh, there's the monster. Chomp. Where's the effort? Where's the build up and the planting of seeds carefully? Like some things they did plant seeds for, but most of the time it would just be like those little throwaway comments.
You also know what else they try to achieve but fall flat on their faces. All the emotional moments. Is anyone really at the edge of their seat thinking Tom Hanks's like Geppetto character really is on death's doorstep? You know, like is he really drowned? And then they play the slow music, and then tears are jerking, tears are streaming. It's like, really?
Oh, don't you feel sad? Oh, he might be dead. Oh man.
Kill that CGI cat.
Really?
I'm so curious to see how they handled this in the original, and if I actually felt, you know, like if it was able to subvert and make you believe that Geppetto was going to die. We actually are reviewing this from a very unique standpoint in that both of us have no emotional connection to the original Pinocchio.
Never seen it.
Whereas a lot of other reviews and films I watched, like other reviewers talking about this film, they were comparing and contrasting like, oh, this is different. They changed the beer on Pleasure Island to root beer. What the hell? And all these weird references. For me, I was like, I can't really comment on changes. All I can say is objectively, I don't like this film based on what was in this film.
What is this film on its own?
Yeah. And on its own, it's a very uninspired, a very lacking, very dull film that has terrible voice acting, horrible special effects and CGI.
Minimal cinematography and editing.
And it's a shame because I love Robert Zemeckis. I mean, I love the Back to the Future trilogy. And I don't know, the further he's gone down the animation path and all that, the worse he's gotten. But like, I felt like Polar Express still had heart.
Does this Pinocchio look any better than Polar Express?
I think that Polar Express is definitely a better film. I don't think this looks better than Polar Express, which is saying something because I think that the acting in Polar Express, the voice acting, probably carries that film through, even if the look of it isn't the best or the animation's aged a bit.
You believe what the circumstances they're going through.
I thought this would be a lot easier to watch after watching Troll 2 and Jack Frost 2 and all these horrible movies that you can catch on my YouTube channel. This was still hard to watch. More so because it's like, this is meant to be a big budget movie.
From 2022 as well. It's a recent film.
With a cast of well-known, fantastic actors. I mean,
one of them as well.
Tom Hanks.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which I don't know how he pulled off that voice. Like
Jiminy Cricket, yo! The other comedy duo. I'm so sorry. I don't remember your name off the top of my head.
It's not like he's gonna listen. Well, that's my thoughts on Pinocchio. Is this remake really as bad as people say it is? Yes, I can confirm it is. I recommend you do not watch it. Watch the original. Or I've heard good things about Guillermo del Toro's version of Pinocchio, which is on Netflix. Don't know how that works, but yeah. Final words, Martin?
1 out of 10 stars.
1 out of 10.
1 out of 10.
I'd give it about
decimal points, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say 1 or 2 out of 10. Hopefully Cocaine Bear will be good. I think that's the next movie for me. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Until next time, this is me and Martin Young saying goodbye.
Unsubscribe to Disney Plus.
I'm a real boy.
He doesn't even turn into a real boy, which is the whole ending of the original.
He was real all along.
And they subverted expectations. I like you just the way you are, which is antithetical to the point of the original. Goodbye, guys.